All right, let's get into it. Today, we're cracking open a case file on what might just be the biggest, most carefully planned delay in gaming history. We're going deep, and I mean deep, into the alleged corporate conspiracy that's keeping Grand Theft Auto 6 off your PC at launch. So, this is the big one, isn't it? The question every single PC gamer is asking. Rockstar tells us it's all about optimization, maybe some piracy concerns, but what if that's not the whole story? What if the delay we're all dreading isn't a technical hurdle at all, but a cold, hard, strategic decision? So, on one hand, you have the official story we've all heard before. It takes time. We want it to be perfect. But on the other hand, the source material for this explainer paints a very different picture. It claims this isn't about fixing bugs. It's about a business strategy, plain and simple. Okay, so let's start by picking apart those official reasons. Our source claims that the technical justifications Rockstar might give for a delay, well, they just don't really hold water anymore, not in this day and age. Think about it. Maybe 10 years ago, sure, you could argue that consoles and PCs were like two totally different animals. But today, they're practically cousins. They share the same fundamental x86 architecture. Now, porting a game is still a ton of work, don't get me wrong, but it is not the massive technical mountain it used to be. That optimization excuse is starting to look pretty flimsy. And this is where things get really interesting. The source alleges that the game's new anti-piracy tech is basically welded to the console hardware, which makes a PC version a lot less of a priority from the get-go. But the real kicker? NVIDIA supposedly offered to send their own top engineers to help with the port, and Rockstar said no. The official reason was story confidentiality, but you gotta wonder if the real reason was to protect some secret tech deal they had going on. Now, you might hear some technical chatter about VRAM being the issue, that most PCs just don't have the memory to handle GTA 6. And yeah, the PS5 Pro is a beast with its optimized memory, but the source claims the actual technical headache is that Direct Storage 2.0 is kind of unstable in Windows. So the alleged strategy is, why bother fixing it? Just wait a couple of years for 16 GB graphics cards to be standard on PC. It's cheaper to delay than to fix. Okay, so if the technical reasons are feeling like a smokescreen, then what's the real motive here? Well, as it almost always does, it comes down to money. And we are talking about a staggering amount of money. $450 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's the profit that Sony allegedly stands to make from this timed exclusivity deal in just the first 6 months. With a number that big on the table, you can see why a company might be motivated. And who's going to pay for it? Well, the analysis suggests 32% of us. That's the estimated number of hardcore PC gamers who are so hyped for this game that they'll actually go out and buy a console just to play it on day one. We are the target. In 14 months, this isn't some random number. It's the average length of what our source calls Rockstar's engineered delay for their past big PC releases. They've done this before. History shows it's a very, very profitable pattern. So this whole thing wasn't just some lucky break for Sony. No. According to the source, this is a highly coordinated plan. A plan that even has its own secret code name. It's time to go inside Project Amethyst. Here's the most important part to understand. Project Amethyst is allegedly a long-term play. We're not just talking about selling a few more PlayStation 5s. This is supposedly a multi-generational strategy to use the single biggest game launch in history to lock down PlayStation's market dominance for the next decade. And this alleged roadmap lays it all out. Just look at the timeline. The PC version is an afterthought. It doesn't show up until the very end, and only after the game has been used as a system seller for not one but 2 different PlayStation consoles. And when it does arrive, it's supposedly held back on purpose so it doesn't look better than the shiny new PlayStation 6. And these are the alleged golden handcuffs on the PC version. Rockstar is supposedly forbidden from even showing us what the game looks like on a monster PC rig until the PS6 has had its launch party. They're allegedly forced to prioritize Sony's own upscaling tech, and the PC port is reportedly performance capped for years, so it won't steal the PlayStation's thunder. Which brings us to the grand finale. The whole conspiracy, every calculated delay, every marketing deal, it's all apparently pointing to one thing: the next console war. And that is the real endgame here. It's not about the PS5. The PS5 sales are just gravy. This is about making sure that GTA 6 is the killer app for the PlayStation 6. It's an attempt to win the next console war before it even starts. And honestly, the numbers suggest this crazy plan might actually work. This gamer loyalty thermometer from the source predicts a whopping 65% of dedicated PC gamers will cave. They'll buy a console just to avoid waiting and having the entire story spoiled. That is a massive market shift, all because of one game. So after digging through all of this, what does it actually mean for you? For me? For all of us? Well, it seems this whole investigation boils down to one simple but very tough choice. Let's just break it down. Yeah, the console looks cheaper on paper, but you're paying in other ways with the potentially compromised version of the game and those endless online subscription fees. The PC is a bigger investment up front, for sure, but your patience is rewarded with the ultimate version whenever it finally lands, with no online fees and a performance ceiling that's basically limitless. And let's be real, the perks for waiting are huge. I mean, just the modding community alone will keep this game alive for an extra decade. You'll get the absolute best graphics, the highest frame rates, and you get to play online for free with whatever controller you want. That's a big deal. But, and this is a big but, the risks of waiting are just as real. Trying to avoid spoilers for a game this massive for over a year? Good luck. You're going to miss being part of that initial global cultural moment. And that feeling, that fear of missing out, is the weapon this whole strategy is counting on. And I think we have to end on this quote from the source of this whole investigation, because it just says it all. The new console war isn't going to be fought over teraflops or SSD speeds. It's being fought over the calendar. It's about controlling when you get to play. It's weaponized FOMO. And the question this case file leaves us with is, in this new reality, what's more valuable to you, your time or your money?